Hello everyone, I'm Milo and welcome to my town. And today it's going to be another rule-breaking video, so to speak. As you saw from the title, I'm gonna be discussing about my thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I know it's technically a movie, but come on, it's about the most known video game franchise that exists, so it should get a pass. You're just gonna be seeing some Mario Odyssey footage that I recorded for this, because I think putting footage of the trailers may be a bit troublesome, but you can also listen to what I have to say. So I saw the movie on release date. I saw it on my local language, which is Spanish from Latin America. And I saw it for the second time on the Saturday today, but when I'm recording, on English, on the original dub. I did want to have like both perspectives in a way. Like, I definitely wanted to see the original dub, but it was a bit hard to find over here. They don't normally bring like the English versions of animated films, but when English is the original language, they only usually bring them dubbed, because since the core audiences are usually for small kids, or not small but kids, they usually just want to hear, Spanish, or the language that they speak the most. So it is rare to see an animated movie that's aimed mainly at children. I mean, an asterisk there, I'll come back to that, to be in the original English version. But this one, as some select cinemas had it, so on Wednesday was the release day, I saw it on Spanish because the cinema near me had it in that language, and on the Saturday I saw it on English because I wanted to. I went to one that had it. So since I've seen it twice, I have like a fresher picture of it, and I was able to catch more details on it the second time around. So now it's when I'm recording this. Just thoughts, review. I wouldn't really call it a review, but it's mainly just my thoughts on it. So I hope you can enjoy what I had to say. So first and nothing, I'll just get it out of the bag. Of course, I am a big Mario fan. I've been almost all of my life. So you can say that maybe my opinion may be a bit biased, but come on, it's Mario. Like, what are you expecting? And yes, I will say that the movie is fantastic. If you are a Mario fan, then you are in for a treat. You will non-stop hear and see Easter eggs and references for many different games. And not just Mario, there is different things that reference other gaming franchises from Nintendo or Nintendo itself. So if you are an avid fan, then you're in for a treat. If you just kind of know Mario, because come on, he's so big, you must have heard of him at least, or the corgis of his games, then you are also probably in for a really good time. I took my whole family to see it, so my parents included. They're both over 60 years old, and they don't really know much about Mario. They may be familiar that he's a video game character and that's it, but I've never really introduced it to them, or they don't know. And they liked the movie, like they thought it was a good movie. So it's a family movie, honestly. Also, I'll mention it right away. If you were worried about Illumination bringing like fart jokes and minions and all that stuff, rest assured that there's nothing of that. There's no over-welcoming like gags for jokes. There's a couple of funny moments, but nothing that's like just pure like really small kid humor like farts and stuff. The only minion that you see is the Illumination logo at the beginning, and that's it. So rest assured that it is safe. I'm pretty sure that Nintendo had the control of all of that, and they wouldn't let Illumination stain their mascot and their biggest franchise, so that is good. You don't have to worry about any of that. You may have heard that the critics said that it was like an average movie. I genuinely have no idea what they were smoking. Like, it seems like they saw a different movie. There were ones that were saying that it's hard to get into. I genuinely have no idea. I can tell you that my parents, they completely got everything from the movie without knowing anything prior to it. Of course, if you are someone that actually knows, Nintendo and Mario in general, then you're going to be getting a lot of the references and settings and all that stuff, the music, and it's gonna be incredibly enjoyable for you. But even if you don't have any of that, it is still an enjoyable movie, so that is a good thing, of course. I wouldn't really count or even pay attention to those critics, or even people who are trying to tone it down. The movie is really a good one, so rest assured of that. Let's discuss about the cast now. So as I said, I watched both versions in English and Spanish. Let's begin with the English one. I mean, it's probably the one that most people will see or will relate to. I think it was really good actually. Like a lot of people were saying that Chris Pratt as Mario may not have been a good choice, and I think like the trailers, they really didn't do much justice for it. It almost seems like it was just him. But in the movie, actually he sounds pretty good. In my own personal opinion, and since I saw it after the Spanish version, I think maybe he's not the perfect fit, but it works. Like when I see Mario, I feel like maybe he's a little bit older. I don't know if his age has been discussed and what it is before. Of course, we know that he's older than Luigi, but let's say that Chris Pratt's voice sounds a bit more on the younger side on some occasions, and in others it sounds really good. So I don't think it was a disappointing thing. As I said, I think the trailers really tried to bring that down for some reason, but rest assured that in the actual movie itself it sounds good. Charlie Day as Luigi is a perfect choice. He does it so good, like I hear him and say that's Luigi. Bowser as Jack Black is also another perfect fit. Seth Rogen as DK, I also think like he's just using his normal voice. I think it's fine, it's not bad. It sounds like DK would sound like that. Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. Honestly, I think she was just talking in her normal voice, maybe without an accent, because I think she's British. At some points, I didn't feel it was bad, but at some points I felt like it was better, and at other points it was, oh, that's just her regular voice. I will say, there is a scene, I'm not gonna spoil, but there's a scene where Peach calls out Mario, kind of like in the Mario Galaxy version. In the Spanish version, it sounds almost identical to Mario Galaxy, to the game. In the English version, it's kind of like Mario. I don't know, well, I can't really replicate it. But I'd say that in the Spanish version, that specific line, the Anya Taylor-Joy one, it's really weak compared to the Spanish one that I heard. But overall, I think it fits the character well. Like, I would have maybe liked that different choice, or if she modulated it a little bit. But overall, I do believe it sounds good. I don't remember the voice actor for Toad either, but that one is also really good. He nails it perfectly. And you know, okay, so that's like the main cast, right? Charles Martinet, as you know, is in the movie, had been said. He has, I mean, I guess every role that's not the one that I've discussed so far, it's relatively minor, but it's a good homage that he's there, and it's really good, so I'm glad. He actually has 2 roles in the English version, and in the Spanish one he dubs himself because he actually speaks several languages. I think in Brazil he may have also dubbed himself, I'm not sure, but I have a friend that I heard that from. So that's actually really cool and cute that they kept Charles not only in the movie in, you know, English, but in some of the other languages he dubbed himself. So that is actually great. I suppose I'll mention it as well, but I do believe that the Latin American Spanish version, the cast was really good. Like, I'm not familiar with the actors. I mean, they have plenty of voice actors here that, you know, dub Hollywood stars all the time. But the cast that was chosen, at least just from hearing the movie, they fit their characters perfectly. It's really good. Of course, I'm not sure if many people are gonna see that one, but I'm just gonna say that I think the choices are great. Maybe I even prefer it a little bit more. Like, as I said, I think like DK and Mario, especially Chris Pratt Mario, they were good, they were acceptable, they were not the framework that some people were expecting. And I may actually prefer a little bit the Spanish ones, but well, that's just me. Maybe I just need to listen to it again and see it again afterwards. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Let's say some of the negative points. Like, it's not perfect, of course, but it is a really good movie. I have just 2 points that I would say are a little bit bad on my book. And I'll tell you why. They're not really like terrible, but the first one is that Luigi unfortunately does not get much screen time. He spends most of the movie being captured. It happens relatively early in the movie, and we have seen this from the trailers that Luigi is captured, and mainly the main motivation for Mario is to try and go and rescue him. Kind of switching the places here, and of Peach getting the one being kidnapped, because this person of Peach is actually pretty capable, and the way that they present it, it makes a lot of sense. So people say that some of those crazy reviewers, or critics I should say, that oh, female empowerment, like, come on bro, it's Peach. She has had her moments in several games, like, and this one's like really strong. She's truly the ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom. I thought that was really cool. But going back to the Luigi point, unfortunately he just spends most of the movie incarcerated. I would have liked if maybe he had some subplot of trying to escape Bowser's castle somehow, but no, it didn't happen. I mean, he's just in a floating cage, so yeah, there's not much he could have done, but I would have liked if there was more of that. So that's my negative point number one. Of course, it affects me because I am a big Luigi fan. He's my favorite character, in fact. And the second one would be that there are some parts in the movie, and I'm not gonna spoil all of them, where some 90s or 80s songs, pop culture songs, play. Where instead, I think if they had actually used Mario remixes, it would have been better, because you know the rest of the soundtrack of the movie has some of these. In fact, there is a scene when they are approaching the Kong territory, where Take On Me, you know that song, I don't know the group, I'm sorry, but Take On Me starts playing, and it's been fun because the soundtrack is already on some digital platforms. I think there's a song in a soundtrack that people couldn't place where it was in the movie. It seems it was supposed to be in that scene, because some people put it together, like they got some footage from cam recorders or whatever, they placed that footage together with the soundtrack, and it actually fits perfectly. You can hear it. I'll link it in the description, maybe, if you can see it, if it's still up on Twitter. And there are 6 times where this happens. I'm gonna list some of them, but try to not to spoil. The first one is in the penguin attack at the beginning of the movie, you know, the one that we saw from the first trailer. There's a slight moment that there's a song in there. I don't know which one. There's another when Mario and Luigi are going to fix on a plumbing job, which again, maybe they could have used some reference, especially because the segment that happens on it, it's a bit of an homage to Wrecking Crew and like the 2D sections. So instead of, you know, a song, when Mario is training, that we've also seen in the trailers, and they even released a public clip in like that Mario Maker type stage, they play I Need a Hero, which, you know, they could have used Mario themes. The Take On Me one, there's one part where they're related to the carts, and it plays, I think it's Thundercat or something. It's brief, but still they could have used, you know, Mario Kart remixes or something like that, because even prior in that same scene, the song that plays when you are like selecting your characters in Mario Kart 8, I think it's 8, plays a remix of that little theme. So I don't know why they went that. And then Hello Blue Sky also plays, or Mr. Blue Sky, whatever it's called, plays in some part. I actually think that one fits really well in the context that it happens. Like, I think that's the only one that I would personally keep. But if the other ones, the other 5, could be replayed, say in like the Blu-ray release or something like that, I would do that. It is my belief that Illumination was the one that really pushed for these pop songs to be included in there. Probably said, oh, you know, your movie needs some of these songs to be good or whatever. And, you know, with how heavy Nintendo was influencing this, and that you can see that they did not stray from their core of the series and keeping it like the way Nintendo likes it. They must have been incredibly insistent for them to put this until they said, we can see it, okay, put the songs. It is my personal belief that that happened, and a lot of people have had this complaint. But overall, that's like my only 2 negative points of the movie. If I had to rate it, of course I said I'm a bit biased, but come on, it's a Mario movie. It is made for Mario fans, absolutely, and if you're a Mario fan, you're gonna completely love it. So I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. That 0.5 because of these 2 little issues. And that's it. I think that's pretty much what I want to say. Like, as I said, the movie is really good. It's like a hero's journey type of film, and you can see a lot of the stuff in there. The story is simple, like it's not gonna be a complex story. Come on, it's Mario. I mean, just stay focused here. They did a small tease that there could be a sequel. I mean, of course they would make sequels if it does good, and I'm pretty sure that it already hit box office records, probably, I don't know. I mean, come on, it was evident. So the thing is that this movie pretty much meant that it could be the gate to open for future Nintendo projects on the big screen, yeah? And it's left a small tease, even though, you know, they could go many avenues onto how they approach a sequel. Just stay until the end of the credits, if you just want to know, and until the very end, if you haven't seen it. So I didn't really discuss any spoilers here, and I kept it like that. Let's see some other points. The OST is fantastic. As I said, it has already released on digital platforms, so you can actually listen to it here on YouTube, or I think it's in Spotify or iTunes. I don't know. I don't use those things. You can look like Mario movie OST. I'm pretty sure that you can already listen to it here on YouTube. The arrangements are really good. I really like one that takes place near the end of the film. If you've seen it, you probably know which one. The credits themselves are also really good. They're like a fanfare of different Mario themes. Overall, it's really a joy, and as I said, if you have played Mario games for many years, and you will recognize a lot of themes, a lot of fanfares, a lot of let 'em ups throughout the soundtrack, so it will be a joy for you, I'm sure. And I guess just as a final point, the animation is really glorious. It's really well done, and they adapted the Mario characters in a really good way. They're just really good. I have nothing but praises about this movie, minus the two issues that I already discussed. But I think that's it. So those are my thoughts on the movie, as it's not like a proper review. Don't go into it expecting like an incredible story, because it's an adaptation of a movie of a guy that jumps and saves a princess. Like, come on. But it's a movie meant for the fans, so the fans are already loving it, and if you haven't seen it, well, I do heavily recommend you watch it. It's just a pure joy. And hopeful for what the future may bring. Of course, this specific one took like 5-6 years to make, so I don't expect that if they make a sequel, it's gonna arrive anytime soon. But if they can keep like this level of quality and even the world building that they've started with this, then I think they can do some very interesting stories and cover different games and introduce characters and all that stuff. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this little not review, but thoughts on my movie, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. It's been really fun to discuss about it with some friends, so you can join in as well if you want. Anyway, I think that's going to be it. So don't forget, you always be welcome in my town. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.